Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, world? What's going on? What up, what up, what up? What's good? Back again, another day. It's your boy, the Curtis York. I'm back again with another video. It is a big Saturday night, and as you know, around these parts, we go live every night until we hit 500 subscribers. That's right, live until 500 in the flesh every night until we hit 500 subscribers. Right now, we are currently sitting at 24 away. Good old 476. We are working it down, and we will get there when we get there. We are enjoying the ride. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful process, and we are taking it one day at a time, just being grateful and enjoying every minute of it. And man, I hope everybody's doing all right. Um, Hope everybody had a good Saturday. Hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. If you need rest, hopefully you're taking that opportunity to get it. Shout out to my girl Tara Helms. I hope she is resting, and I also hope that she gets well soon. I'm definitely hoping that she takes some time and rest. She dropped a video recently. I need to check that out as well. Um, just had a lot going on. So today, usually on Saturdays, I have my home inspectors training. As you all may or may not know, I'm currently in the process of securing my North Carolina home inspector's license. I already have my national home inspector's license, so I'm just working on getting the North Carolina portion of my home inspector's license so that I can practice home inspections in the state of North Carolina. So that pretty much took all day. We started at 9 o'clock and I didn't get home until about 6. So that was my day in a nutshell. We broke for lunch. I got a pretty cool little sandwich. I ended up back in Monroe. So if you haven't already, make sure you check out the Monroe video of your boy just hanging out in Monroe, North Carolina. Um, a lot of people thought that I was there, what I'm saying, just relaxing or whatever the case may be. But I was actually in Monroe because I was doing some training for my home inspection. So yeah, but without further ado, what I wanted to talk about tonight, because I'm not trying to be on here all night. It looks like it's gonna be a quiet night, so I can just drop this video and everybody can check it out in the playback. But if a bunch of people come up in here and it goes how it typically goes, then we might just be here for a minute. But what I want to talk about, man, is just harsh truths about the world. A lot of us, we get out in the real world and we are blindsided, and people take advantage of us and manipulate us and use us in all kind of crazy ways because nobody put us on game before it happened, and we end up learning the hard way. Now what I can say is usually people that have had harsh upbringings, people that grew up in poverty, or they grew up in you know very, we'll say, trying areas and neighborhoods, they were able to pick up these things, sometimes even just subconsciously, just existing. But a lot of us didn't have that blessing, I guess you could say. And we had to learn things later in life. And when you make mistakes when you're younger, the consequences aren't as dire as when you're older, because when you're older, the ability to bounce back is a lot more difficult than it is as a child. Even physically, if you break your bone as a child when you're young, your bone will heal a lot faster than a grown person that breaks their bone. Shout out to my brother Daniel, man. Hey, what's good, bro? This guy, man, he sent me a video of Casey Neistat, man, and it was just talking about not giving up on your passion and pursuing it. When nobody's watching, nobody has any skin in the game, and if you give up, nobody will probably even care. But just pushing past anyway until you hit your goal, and then not only do you hit your goal, you exceed your goal. It was actually a very good video, man. It had me emotional and everything. I'm like, sheesh, like this is some really high quality content. And, at first I was like, man, I really don't want to watch this because what's going to happen is I'm going to end up trying to figure out what I can steal and how I can use it to make my content better. But luckily my biggest takeaway wasn't, a camera edit or an angle or, even a theme. It was more so just trying to make content that's actually more um impactful, making content that actually resonates with people, man. I think that's really the biggest goal on this platform is to make content that other people value. And it's funny because I told y'all a couple lives ago, I was talking to my uncle and he was like, yo, man, people just want educational videos on YouTube. And that's partially true because, the Casey Neistat video, it wasn't technically an educational video. It wasn't a tutorial. It wasn't like, hey, do A, B, and C and D will happen. No, it was more like a motivational type video, but it wasn't like your cliche, if you work really hard and you manifest it. Nah, it was like you work really hard and you're gonna fail. You're gonna get your teeth kicked in. You're gonna lose and your feet are gonna bleed. But if you push past it, eventually you'll get where you want to go. And so I thought that that was super dope. And moving forward, that's something that I definitely want to try to incorporate in my video. Not bleeding feet, but just finding ways to actually connect and resonate with people and you know um make content that people can feel on an emotional level. Excuse me, I had to get a little sip of this water. But with that being said, what I'm saying, that's actually why I wanted to talk about what we're talking about tonight, harsh truths about the world that your parents should have told you. And right off the bat, here's a good one. Your parents should have told you, or whatever, your older people should have put you on game and told you that just because you're the best, just because you're the smartest, just because you're the most talented, that doesn't mean that you're gonna win. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. Um, there's an old Malcolm Gladwell book. I don't remember which one because unlike some of y'all, I was on Malcolm Gladwell way before Gucci Man went on the Breakfast Club and was talking about Malcolm Gladwell. Tara, what's going on? I was just saying that I hope you getting some rest and recharging your body, man. It's good to see you, but if you're not taking care of yourself, then it is absolutely not good to see you. And I need you to log off and lay down and get some rest. But what I was saying is there's a Malcolm Gladwell book. I want to say, let me see. Maybe I can pull it up. It wasn't David and Goliath. What was it? The tipping point? Hmm. See, that's why I tell y'all I'm going somewhere, but that's why I tell y'all it's not good to read a bunch of books just for the sake of reading books because the way that my mind works is I can reference a book and what I'm saying, I can remember details about the book or something that stood out, but I don't remember like the whole picture, which is why, like I said, moving forward, I want to focus on diving deeper in books and reading the same book more times for retaining information rather than just reading books for the sake of reading books. So the book was Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And in the book, he researched a lot of really smart people that, just because people are geniuses, it doesn't mean that they're going to be successful in life. A lot of people think that if you're just really smart, then, you're predetermined to be successful. And that is absolutely not true because there's so many other factors that play into what makes someone, quote unquote successful. And a very big one is well, not office politics because it's not just limited to the office, but I will say understanding people and social awareness. I won't call it office politics. I'll call it social awareness because it expands way further than just, what happens in the office. You have to have a thorough understanding of people how people work, how people think, what motivates people, what drives people. Um, and that actually kind of transitions into my next point, which is it doesn't matter what you say, what matters is what people hear. Let me repeat that again. It doesn't matter what you say, what matters is what people hear. That's right, Tara. You don't need to stay long. I definitely appreciate you coming in and showing some support. But the best way you can support this channel is by getting some rest and taking care of yourself. We care about our people over here at Yorktown. And this video ain't going nowhere. The playback will always be here. As long as YouTube is here, you can click on it and watch it at any time. But you need to get your rest. But yeah, it doesn't matter what you say. What matters is what people hear. Um, and the reason that that's important is because, you know, people judge things based on how what they hear affects them. People there's no nice way to say it. People are very selfish, and that's just the reality of things. People try to make it seem like, you know, people are so there's just good natured people, and overall people are just these nice little angelic creatures who no, that's not the reality, man. People are cutthroat. And obviously, no, it's not all people, but the thing is, there's enough people that are cutthroat, and there's enough people that, I'm saying, will do whatever they have to do, step on your neck, that you have to be aware of those people and you need to know how to deal with them. And, even if they won't step on your neck or they won't do whatever they need to do, they're always going to do what serves their best interest for the most part. All of us do it. People will help you out as long as, they get something out of it. And, it doesn't always have to be financial. Sometimes what they get out of it is a good feeling. People only operate based on things that, benefit them. It's human nature. It's survival. At the end of the day, people want to feel good about themselves to the best of their capability. And, if something aligns with them, then they'll do what serves their best interest. And, unfortunately, I learned that the hard way. I didn't realize that until, I was in my late 20s, early 30s. I thought that if things hit the fan or if things got bad, I had a security blanket that I could fall back on. Man, listen. And I've told y'all the story about how, when I lost everything, I thought I could just go back home with my family and things would be good. And, what I'm saying? Basically, they were playing hot potato with my mind, just pause, just tossing me from one couch to the next couch to the next couch until, I realized that here's the next thing that your parents should have told you. Nobody's coming to save you, bro. Nobody. Nobody, nobody, nobody. Nobody's coming to save you. Everybody has their own issues that they're dealing with. Everybody has their own agendas that they're trying to get across. Everybody has their own troubles. Everybody has their own issues. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just the reality of things. People will help you out as much as they can as long as it doesn't inconvenience them. And that's just survival. Most people, and it expands past people. I was watching a document and I'll never forget it. It was a random documentary on Animal Planet, and it was talking about elephants and how elephants trek across the safari, not the safari. They travel across, the plains of Africa. I think that's the best way to put it. The plains of Africa. So if a baby elephant gets hurt, or if any elephant in the pack of elephants gets hurt, you know, the other elephants will wait for a small amount of time, and if that elephant doesn't get better, then they'll leave it. And, if it's a baby elephant or a smaller elephant, then the mother has a very difficult choice. The mother can either stay with its child and get left by the rest of the other elephants, or she can leave that child and continue to stay with the herd and have protection of the group. And, you would think that it would be a no-brainer. The mother elephants would just leave their offspring. I mean, they would just stay with their offspring and, what I'm saying, figure it out on their own. But even animals understand the importance of protection and safety and self-preservation. Like it was sad, man, but that mama elephant left that baby elephant to fend for itself. It was the craziest thing I ever saw. And that's it kind of parallels people, people will help you out as long as it benefits them, or it doesn't inconvenience them too much. And again, it's not a bad thing, that's just the way that it is. And with this information, you don't take it and become a cynical, evil, spiteful person. You take this information and you use it, and you understand that if you do get help from anybody, you be extremely grateful and you be extremely appreciative, because people don't have to do anything for you. Um, Shout out to my guy Rich Burns. He was just talking about that the other night. People technically don't owe you anything, and it's messed up. And you would think as human beings we would leave things and make life easier for the people that come behind us in the next generation. That's a higher, but what you have to understand is that's a higher level order thinking of humans, and that's something that's been accumulated over time, because at the end of the day humans are just animals. Like, we like to think that we're these high and mighty creatures, and we just are so advanced and we're so civilized, but ultimately we still have animalistic traits within us. Um and this is esoteric information. It might not make sense to some people might call it, um what is it? Some people might call it pseudoscience, but it's believed from people that study Egyptology and, the pyramids and the Sphinx and all that stuff. It's believed that the Sphinx is supposed to represent the highest level of man, with the head being human, meaning civilized, you know, organized man, and the lower portion of the Sphinx being animalistic. That's what that big giant statue out in the desert is supposed to represent. Higher order thinking, civilized man. That's why you see the head. The body is an animal. You know, if you don't control your body with your head, then your body will control your head. That's why, let me see. Let me pull up a picture of the Sphinx. A long game, man. Um, Let me show y'all. For those of you who, what I'm saying, didn't pay attention in world history and y'all like, what's the Sphinx? I'm gonna show y'all what the Sphinx is. So it makes sense. Sphinx. Okay. Here's the Sphinx, y'all. Images. So yeah, there you go. The head is supposed to be higher order thinking. The body ideology, the lack of control. When you think about a human being when they're first born, we have very impulsive, animalistic behaviors. Like, you think about a toddler, and I know for a fact because I have toddlers. When you think about a toddler, there is no higher order thinking. It's just impulse. Whatever I want to do, I'm gonna do now. There's no thought. There's no premeditation. It's just go. That's animalistic. That's no culture. That's no higher order thinking. That's no strategy. That's just impulse. But then as you grow and you become socialized, then, you still have those animalistic tendencies. It's until you actually, grow and develop yourself and invest in yourself. And you take time and you go through lessons and you have experiences. That's when you develop that higher order thinking. And that's when you become elevated and you move differently and you think differently, and that's when the wisdom comes into play. But that comes through pain, and that comes through sacrifice, and that comes through you know triumph. And moving right along, because I don't want to take too much time on that, something else that your parents should have told you, which is a harsh truth about the world: Not only can you be the smartest, the most talented, the best, and still not be successful, you can do everything right. You can play everything by the book. You can, do everything right, and bad things can still happen to you. You know, the movie, I don't know if y'all ever seen the movie No Country for Old Men. Um, if you think about it, that movie is just about random chaos. The guy, Chigger, and I can never really pronounce his name right. Chigger, I believe that's his name, Chigger or Sugar. Um, Javier Bardem, the guy that was just running around killing people with the quarter, him. Basically, he represents just the chaos and the madness of the world. It's just so random. In that same video I was referencing earlier with Casey Neistat, he was riding on a scooter and he got hit by a car because somebody ran a red light. You know, um, Life is unpredictable, and we like to pretend that we have so much control over the world and our outcomes and so much, but ultimately the only thing that we really have control over is how we respond to things and how we react. I can't control whether the roof falls on this house. That's something that I have no control over whatsoever. This laptop could blow up in my face right now. I have no control over that. Anything can happen in this life that I have no control over. But there's the little things that I do have to control and I do have control over. You can't control people, you know. You can influence people, you can manipulate people and kind of change outcomes, but to actually control someone, you can never 100% fully control someone. You can't control people. The only person that you can control is yourself. And when you say you control yourself, you can control your thoughts, you can control your mind, and that just comes with time and patience. But you can do everything right and things still go wrong. We have this idea of morality where, the bad guy always loses because that's just how the world works. And that's not true at all. There's plenty of bad people that are thriving and doing well because that's just how it is. I know we love to believe in karma and we think that, that can kind of sway the tide, but the reality is, karma is you doing right based on your morals and principles, not because, you won an award or, fear of repercussion. It's because you subscribe to a certain code or you feel a certain way and you have morals and principles that you won't sacrifice or cross, you know. So yeah, that's that. You definitely want to make sure that you are being mindful of that and you understand that, there's a chance and there's a world where you can do everything right. And I think that's why so many people are angry in this generation because we feel like we did everything right. We went to school, we got good grades, we graduated, we went to college, we graduated from there, we got the job, we did everything by the book. We did everything that they said that we were supposed to do. And somehow we still get the short end of the stick. And, things still don't work out in our favor when we bought into the American dream and we did what they said that we were supposed to do. And when we got here at the finish line, we look around and, you find out that wasn't the best way. There were other ways, but because you followed what you were told, you wasted time and you didn't get the outcome that was anticipated. There was a video that popped up, I want to say last week or the week before. And I'm going to pick my words carefully because I know that certain things you can and can't say on social media. But there was a guy, I want to say somewhere up north, he went on Twitter and he posted a video of his father's severed head in a bag, and they found his manifesto and everything, and basically he was saying that he had an issue with the American government because they told him that if he went to school and did everything that they said, he'd land on his feet and he'd be successful in America. And I think he had some issues with his father, but long story short, he bought into a concept that it wasn't real, and when he found out, he got upset and he snapped. And that's going to be a lot more common when people realize that that's not how the world works. So you have to be careful when you buy into things like that, because the reality is, once again, you can do everything right, and it still doesn't happen for you. There's a lot of people that play professional sports and they never win a championship, and they were amazing people. You know how many people are in the Hall of Fame that have never won a ring, or have never won a championship, or have never won a World Series? Like, there's so many people that were amazing talents. To this day, they could probably still beat 98% of the world, but they still don't have that one thing. They still don't have that championship or that ring or that one thing that sets them from the pack. And the craziest part about that is there's people on those same teams that literally did nothing. Like, they just were placeholders. Somebody got injured. They signed a short term contract at the end of the season just so that they could hold a spot on the team. And they have championship rings for doing nothing. Like, it's so crazy when you think about it. You have people that gave up everything. They sacrificed so much. They worked so hard. They grinded so hard. And, somebody that just happened to be on the team got a ring. That's it's crazy, but that's the reality of the world. So here's another harsh truth. I'm gonna probably land on this one because, like I said, I've been in home inspection training all day, and you know, I'm tired. But the last one, and it's kind of what I was saying earlier, but I just really feel like I need to beat this in a lot of people's head, because there's just this stigma that people have about millennials, that we're just soft and we aren't equipped for the world, and we just want things easy, and we all want participation trophies and all of that. you know the reality is, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. And when I say nobody cares, here's what I mean. Again, everybody has their own things going on. Everybody has their own issues that they're dealing with. And people will only help to the best of their ability as long as it doesn't hurt them. So you got to understand that nobody cares. Even with this YouTube thing, man. Like, a lot of people assume that they can just hop on this thing and start a vlog, and people are going to care about what they have to say or their opinion or how they feel about things. You know, you could you could arguably say the same thing about me. Like, when I come on here, I know that I have to say things that other people want to hear, or other people may not know, because it benefits them. It doesn't matter what I think. Like I was saying, I wanted in my other video, like 2 or 3 videos ago, not a live, but the actual vlog. Good night, Tara. Get your rest, man. I done told you to get out of here. I doggone 30 minutes ago, girl. Get your rest, man. I appreciate you staying, but nah, you need to get some rest. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. We definitely appreciate you here in Yorktown, but I'm gonna send you to the Yorktown medic. You need to get some rest. Thank you. But yeah, man, ultimately, you gotta realize that nobody's coming to save you. You gotta save yourself. Um, you know, Nobody really cares about what you have to say, and it matters. The reason I say that is because you have so many people that get up here on this platform and they just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, but they don't provide any value, and they just share their little opinions, and they don't have any credibility. They haven't been through any experience. They haven't gone through anything, but they just feel like they can just come up here and say whatever for clout and attention, and whatever the case may be. And ultimately, nobody cares. Like, again, bringing up my own personal situation. I have an MBA. I People don't owe me a job just because of that credential. I have my OSHA 30. People don't owe me a job just because I had that credential. I have experience. People don't owe me a job just because I have that experience. You know, it all that matters is, can you fulfill a need in the marketplace for what people are looking for at that time? I like to think that when you come to Yorktown, I'm providing you valuable information. And, judging by a lot of the comments that I get, I could say that we're hitting that mark. So, you know, fuck it. I'm gonna drop y'all one more. Patience, y'all. Patience. This is a harsh truth. And it's a harsh truth for us in particular because we want things fast. And the world has us, what I'm saying, groomed and trained because, you know, the internet is fast. We have fast food. We have, you know, 30-minute car oil changes and things like that. So we feel like Amazon overnight shipping. We feel like things should just come easy and things should come fast. But, you know, it takes time. You got to put in your work. You got to pay your dues. You got to study. You got to grind. You have to have patience and you have to play the long game. That's why I always say I'm thinking 5 years, before this YouTube thing blows up. I can't, a lot of people, and it's funny because even with the home inspector training, I was talking to the guy today and he was saying, one of the biggest things is that people think that just because they see home inspectors on TV or on YouTube, they could just jump out here and they're going to be, amazing home inspectors and their phone is going to ring all the time and they're going to, have so many clients and whatever the case. No, you have to put in the work, you have to grind, you have to be patient, you have to understand that when you start something new, the energy shifts and it's going to take a while because you're building something from the ground up. A lot of us are used to, just going, clocking in, getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, clocking out, and, doing just enough to not get fired. But when you go out on your own, you don't have that luxury. You have to, you know, eat the food that you kill, which means that you have to grind constantly and consistently. And that requires patience. A lot of us, we give up too quickly. We have things that are right within our reach and right within our grasp, and we give up. And I can speak from personal experience. This is like my third or fourth time trying to be a YouTuber. And what happened in the past, I got impatient. I felt like my channel wasn't growing enough. I was young and immature, and I didn't realize people didn't care about what I had to say. People care about, if my content is entertaining to them as they see fit, if my content is informative to them as they see fit, which is cool, And I've also learned that it's gonna take time for me to get to my audience. I have to find my people. I know my people, you know what I'm saying? My people are Tara, people who come up in here after I told them to get their rest because you sick and you need your rest. People like Daniel who is always sending me great content and giving me ideas and challenging me and pushing me forward. People like, what I'm saying, Sneaker Hunter 55 who I honestly think has commented on every single video I've ever made, which is crazy. It's gonna take a while for me to find my people, but I much rather find my people and be patient and have people that rock with me and what happens at this channel rather than blowing up fast and just having a bunch of ghost subscribers or having a bunch of people who aren't invested in what's going on over here at Yorktown. Because I always tell y'all, and I've showed y'all the metrics, like I know what it takes to blow up a channel. I can do it. I've done it. I've blown up my views easily. I could just sit up here and talk about shoes all day. I could just sit up here and make videos about how you gotta play chess and you gotta, maneuver a certain way. Or I could just throw my kids up in your face all day. Like, hey, I got two cute kids. Or, sometimes I got another cute kid that I get. We can it's ways to just do that. But, I want to take my time. I want to build my audience. I want to actually build relationships with the people in Yorktown. I don't want just a bunch of people that say, "Hey, that was a cool sneaker," or we got my guy Matt in the building, man. Shout out to Matt, man. Like I said, the power is in the tongue, man. That's so crazy, and I'm gonna tell you why that's so crazy, bro. It's like people have been saying that to me all week. Like for real. Like people have been saying that to me all week. The power is in the tongue. Damn near verbatim. Like that is crazy. Wow. My guy Rich. Man, I was just up in here talking about you earlier about how, earlier you were saying that people don't owe you anything. That's facts, man. Um Anybody that does anything for you is doing you a favor and you should be extremely grateful and appreciative. But the reality is, people don't owe you anything. People don't owe you anything at all. You know, you would like to think that people would try to make life easier for you or put you in a better position so you don't make the same mistakes that they made. You will hope that that's how the world works, but the reality is, people don't always do that. That's just what it is. You have some really cutthroat people out here. You have some very survival first oriented people out here that will do whatever they have to do in order for them to win, even if that means, you lose, whatever the case may be. But that's just the reality of the world. And that's what we talking about, man. Just the harsh truths about the world that, your parents should have told you, you know, um, money, bruh. And I said I was gonna go, but I'm still here, man. Money, bruh. Money is important. Money matters. There's no way around it. There's no way to spin it. As long as you live in a capitalistic society, you need money, bruh. I think it was Steve Harvey when he was arguing with Monique. He said the most expensive thing you could be in America is poor. And that is true. When you think about perfect example, the other night, Playboy Cardi, the rapper, he went on Aiden Ross, who's a streamer. He went on his live stream for like 6 minutes and got $2 million. You know what I'm saying? That $2 million went from one rich person to another rich person. That $2 million could have went to so many poor people. It could have went to so many communities, so many neighborhoods. But again, another harsh reality. People only care about helping people that help them. Aiden Ross might have gave him that $2 million, but he got something out of it. He got clout, he got exposure, you know what I'm saying? He got news casting, even Mr. Beast. I don't want to say nothing too crazy about Mr. Beast because, Mr. Beast is different. But, Mr. Beast makes content, take for example the video where he was giving people sight, curing blindness. You know, you could say that he did that out of the kindness of his heart, but you could also say that he did that because he knew the news would pick it up and it would blow his channel up faster. You could say that Mr. Beast buys people cars out of the kindness of his heart, or, you could say that he buys people cars because he knows that it's going to hit the news circuit and it's going to go viral. You got to look at things from an objective standpoint and understand that people help other people as long as it serves them. And it's okay. Like, a lot of people get offended by that. A lot of people take transactional relationships personal. I think at this point I'm kind of numb to it and I understand that, hey, I don't mind you using me as long as, I benefit from it too or I get something out of it. And, as long as it doesn't interfere with my morals and my principles, what I believe, whatever. I'm at the point now, bro, where I barely even argue with people. Like, like I don't know. Like I've just been in this. I don't know if it's Zen or whatever the case it is, man. But I don't even bother trying to convince people of things anymore, unless it's something that directly impacts me, bruh. I'm not trying to educate people like that no more. Like I said, my people. If you come here, you know what you're getting, you know what it is, and we can cook together. But if you want to go over there and that's what you want, bruh, I'm not like my early 20s, I was trying to save black people, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to save people. I was trying to educate people. I was trying to put people on game. But everybody ain't meant to have all information. Everybody isn't meant to learn. Everybody isn't meant to be at the top. And it's unfortunate because you obviously want as many people there as possible because you can build better when you have more people. But at the same time, some people are just stuck and that's where they're gonna be, and that's okay. Y'all just stay stuck. Like, bro, you waste so much time trying to convince somebody that refuses to be convinced. You can't transmit logic to illogical people. If somebody wants to be illogical, it doesn't matter what you say because they're just stuck on their train of thought. And even if you are able to convince them or sway their opinion, the amount of work and effort that goes into something like that could easily be used for so many other things. Like, bro, I got kids. I'm not 100%. It that's why you have to gatekeep some things, and it's unfortunate, but everything ain't for everybody. That's just what it is. Everything is not for everybody. But I think that's enough, man. I am going to probably do a part two of this video. I'm gonna do a poll. So if y'all have some harsh truths that y'all want to share, I'm gonna set up a poll on my community page, and y'all can respond with some harsh truths that y'all have learned through life. We can go through them. We can discuss them. I'm gonna probably come on early tomorrow because of the Super Bowl, but I haven't seen my wife all day. Like I said, I've been doing home inspection training. I'm tired. So I'm about to go kick it with her. And I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Appreciate y'all coming to Yorktown. Hold it down, y'all. Stay safe.